Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We do have returned back once more, and we shall continue in just a moment. The amusing thing is, I did have an email here from Admiral Dadman. He put, "Where are you, Kido Butai?" Which is why I've named the actual episode, "Where are you, Kido Butai?" It's an interesting little question to ask, really. Where is the Kido Butai? I did tell the Kido Butai to actually head back into port or truck. I was contemplating to not do so, but with the actual position of the submarines changing in that area, we have accrued some damage, such as system damage, I suppose we could call it. Well, we'll call it minor damage, from obviously sailing, which is a bit of a problem. I do want to reform the entirety of the Kido Butai. So we do have cargo, we do have the two tornado classes, we do have our BBs, and we are going to be sailing forth in the very, very near future. And we are going to be sailing forth, and we are going to be actually carrying out a plan of operations, which is going to see Port Moresby bombarded by a BB. And brought to heel, really. I mean, it's intriguing. We do have finally good reconnaissance of Port Moresby, so we can actually see what is going on there accurately. Which is quite useful. Hang on, have I loaded up the wrong turn here? I think I loaded up the wrong turn. That's out of habit there. That's out of habit there. Out to the moon, Alice. There we go. That's out of habit there, loading up the ahead turn 20. Sorry, save 20. How you doing there, Helen? Helson, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. It would be intriguing. Maybe. Would be the question. What would be the answer, I suppose? Right, so I do take Cape Gloucester. That's nice. I do like that. I would be quite eager to actually build that up in the near future. Okay. How you doing there, Vulcan? Good to have you, my man. Okay, so we can see he's continuing to offload forces there. Now, I have had to replace the commanders of the G3 squadrons in Chiang Mai. Now, ideally, they do go ahead and they actually do attack that enemy. We do see a sub out here then attacking. Oh, so the sub chasers are attacking here. Okay. No, but in fairness, he's not exposing his carriers. He almost had Enterprise torpedoed. And that was misfortune that we didn't actually get that hit in there. There was a torpedo drop, but it missed. And the issue is he did have his carriers head south of Midway. Sorry, south of Wake, and carried on going south. Oh, that's cool. I'm sure Carl will have fun with that. The Marianas is quite a good play by email, but yes, it does take quite a few turns, really, before the action really does start kicking off. Okay. So, fairly uneventful nighttime phase there. So we see him continue to unload. We are unloading there at Gazmata. I want to take every single base in that area, every single dot base that he owns we need to have under our control, so he cannot base anything there. We can definitely see... Right, okay, the good news is we are still seeing AKs, APs, etc. there. That's good. I'm not too sure. He's been very aggressive with his carriers. I don't think he's waiting for the carriers as such. It's more so, well, we are giving him reasons to not be able to exercise his carriers. Which is nice. Now, we should attack the AKs. We should attack the APs today. I'm saying should. They've been in position 3 days. You would have imagined they would have been attacked by now. Ah, so we are seeing ships down here to the south, which is intriguing then. We should have our Kido Butai truck down. Okay. Spotted out there by PPY Twangi. We do see something to the south, which could be Kido Butai. Sorry, obviously mine is the Kido Butai. The American carriers, I should say. Alright, so we don't have some reconnaissance there. Ah, from 45th Sentai. Okay. Right, we are hitting Butai once again. Well, he doesn't have that many carriers. He will gain more and more carriers, of course, but we have increased the strength of the Kido Butai. But yeah, essentially he is using them in a Death Star formation. There's not much we can do about that, sadly. But this is where the land-based air power really does come into its own there, really. Continue to bomb there. It doesn't look like it has much in the way of engineers there. Okay, we have a hit. Would have had more would have been nice, but hey-ho. I did leave my forces at Clark to rest another day. I decided it was actually worthwhile to do that. The reason is they're going to burn off disruption, they're going to burn off fatigue, they're going to take on some replacements if they can, or at least recover the disabled if they can. But it probably would have worked out that had we started marching yesterday, it probably would have taken longer to get there due to said fatigue, or about the same time. But at least when they do arrive at Clark, they will be in a much better state. Yes, we are seeing them out there just in the Coral Sea there, the centre of said Coral Sea. Right, come on. Attack. There's literally no reason for you not to attack. Yeah, there's quite a few ships there to the south. Okay. If they don't attack today, I do not know what I can do to coax them. They have new commanders. I'm just waiting to see this attack, and I'm praying it's actually going to happen. I'm praying for it. Yes, they have escorts. No? Okay. For God's sakes. Oh, for God's sakes. I changed out the actual squadron leaders as well. So apparently they don't... They just don't feel like attacking. Right, finally we do have Takakazi here, finally attacking the Swordfish. Get some blood depth charges into her there. Yep, she's leaking fuel all badly. Kill this son of a bitch. She's been in here far too bloody long. We cannot have that. Yeah, put more into there. Right, we got a few hits in there. He's going to start to take more and more damage there. That's good. Right, Swordfish again. Takakazi attacking again. Get some! That's what I want to see. More damage. Come on, get a direct bloody hit in there. She deserves it. Right, okay. And the good news is I can rearm every single turn here, which is nice. So Takakazi's out of ammunition here. God damn. Is it only the Takakazi that actually has the SW? Seems so. But we've got a few more hits in there. Yeah, she's trying to attack again, but she just doesn't have the SW ammunition. That's a goddamn shame. We can have her rearmed. Yeah, we'll take a look there. We do have an Arakazi in there, which is odd. She didn't actually attack. Ah, well. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we have most of the Fubuki ones sent in for the upgrades. We do have a couple in Singapore. We had the ones that we had available immediately sent in to be upgraded in the early days. There's not many out there that haven't been upgraded. The ones that haven't been upgraded at this point were the ones that just were simply outside shipyards and not close to shipyards. Well, okay. I kind of regret attacking that. So we're going to have to deal with that. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to accept it and enjoy that. Yeah. Okay. Right, there we go. I don't believe we have any other battles today, actually. No, we do not. It's a very quick turn. Very quick turn. Oh, the Fubukas have those dual purpose guns, which are fantastic. Okay, there we go. Nice turn. We should arrive in Xi'an potentially tomorrow, which is nice. We do see growing USN assets in the Coral Sea, which is something we can actually take note of. We are aware of it, which is very nice. Okay. He might have been aiming to try and draw out the Butai, which obviously we didn't bring out. But that kind of concern... It's going to be really interesting, because it's quite concerning. Excuse me. Okay. Right, Vogo will go ahead and save here. As far as it goes for the SW, whatever they have, it's good enough. I mean, having more of it is obviously great, but the fact is, for the most part, we do need to have ocean shallow hexes to do much in the way of damage. I mean, even that applies to the allied forces. Obviously, they will get better and better at it. But in fairness, we'll take it where we can get it. I'd rather have more dual purpose to actually deal with air attacks. Submarines are obviously going to be a threat, but I think air power is probably the bigger threat to destroyers. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the intelligence report today then. So we see a Lily G3 and another H81 goes down to Ops Sources today then. That's quite nice. So what's their reason for not attacking here today? That would be some heads rolling for damn sure. I was actually going to go ahead and actually bomb Prome. I decided against that. Should probably actually rescind that order there, but I forgot about that one. But they do have an escort. I don't know what their problem was. They said to naval attack, I had 20% of them on search, 30% of them rest and to keep the fatigue in there, but at least 50% of the squadron actually able to attack. I just don't know. I don't know what I can do. Hey, didn't that drop Ross? Good to have you, my man. Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure of what I can do here. It's so strange, like... So we have extreme overcast today. If it's the weather today, I could be rather annoyed. I just think they're getting this... like, crazy amount of luck. I'm not too sure. It might be weather today. I'm not sure. It might be that we're just going to naval search. We'll just hit them in naval search, really. I mean, if that does some damage, then that might be the way to go. Right, let's take a look at this. So I do have... Yes, I have a unit in every hex bar in this hex over here. But I do have a tank driving up that way. Which will arrive tomorrow then. Yeah, I mean, this is it. We do need the AKEs over here to actually rearm the heavy cruisers. But we will send some assets out this way. Maybe that's something odd about these hexes that actually stops them from being attacked. But I've not seen anything like that beforehand. But we'll figure it out soon enough. I did go ahead and actually strengthen our position over here with the Key 43s and the G4M1s, really. And the reason for doing that is because we do actually have Port Blair as a fully functioning base now, which is great news. We do have a supply here. I do have a naval guard unit moving into Port Blair in the near future, which is nice. And it's an interesting one, really. I just don't... I can't see why they wouldn't attack. I mean, ships float in water. You can use torpedoes in water, so come on, 2 and 2. Put them together. Ah, well. It is what it is. Right, so I do have a 4th RTA B detachment marching up the road here. I'm running reconnaissance over here, and I'm not seeing actually any units in here, which is quite good. If we could actually get them in here to actually flank his position, that'd be excellent. Well, we have a level 4 airfield here at Chiang Mai. I do have the 3rd Air Division actually moving up that way. Oh, they're on their way now, actually. Whereabouts are they? I mean, I don't know about that. We've had attacks come out from here before. It's a little bit overloaded, but... we've had attacks out before. It could be like the most grasping of reasons. Where's the 3rd Air Division? Oh no, they've actually arrived. Oh, okay, the 3rd Air Division has arrived then. That's excellent news. So we can have them... They move really bloody quickly then. Well, there we go. Cool. So we had 3rd Air Division then in place. Interesting. They didn't arrive until after that, but oh well. No, I can't see as to why we're not having this work. It's really kind of weird. And we have the actual 3rd Air Division here now, so who bloody well knows. Okay, so we do have our reconnaissance over here then. I do have my unit here then. We do have a 14th Tank Regiment, which is good news. Yeah, so I will be... I mean, this is it. I could move in here. Oh, thank you very much there, Shu Even Verizon. That's an amazing name. Thank you very much there with the Twitch Prime subscription. As much appreciated, my man. Hope you enjoyed the content. Right, let's take a look at this then. So I do have a clear terrain here. So the divisions are... I think it's worthwhile to get into the said hex. If he attacks me, he attacks me. I can always recover the unit. We do have a clear terrain to work with there. He will have... I think he has like some sort of brigade. It's not an especially large unit. It's not a small unit either, but it's not an especially large unit. I think it's worthwhile to get inside the hex. Likely so. Let's see. What would be a good idea then is potentially try and get forces to march over this way and try and cut him off. We do have options to stop him. It's going to be difficult to do so. Maybe we should have got the paratroopers in over here beforehand, but that's fine. What we'll do then is we'll have the heavy cruisers re-armed, and then we'll go ahead and we'll visit him out here then. I just find it ludicrous as to the situation here. It's been multiple days and they have been attacked. It might be worthwhile switching to bombs, perhaps. I just find it so very strange. But still, in fairness, we are able to attack out here to 14 hexes, so at least we might get a chance to hit him on his way out. It's rather annoying that we have to even consider that as an option, but I can't really fathom as to why. We will have an air HQ here. They have superior squadron commander leaders today. I can't see. I can't say why. Oh well. Okay. So I'll have the tanks here tomorrow. I still have the JAF. So they're marching. They're marching as well, but in combat mode. So I'll put them in movement mode here. So they're still going to be in this hex tomorrow. We have the RTB in this hex then. I'm going to have them begin to move back towards Rangoon. Right, so if I take a look at Rangoon, I did actually get the RTA in here, so we do have more. I also do have a 6 tank regiment over here, which is good news. So I'm going to have a 6 tank regiment move on to Prome then. I mean, that's not going to take them long. They're going to be, let's see then, so tomorrow... So tomorrow they'll be in this hex. They'll have a little bit of progress towards this hex, and then they'll be in this hex. So I can bring armored units to bear, and it might be worthwhile doing so. I've got to be in a position to try and stop him from crossing, or at least make it difficult for him to cross. The tanks really do give us that ability to be able to deal with him, which is nice. It's going to make his life difficult, and I do have a TIE forces that will be in this hex tomorrow, which is good. So we're trying our best. Maybe we should move the TIE forces across the road much sooner, but then this is it. We didn't anticipate it to go in this way. It is what it is, really. I do have a first tank regiment over here. Okay. And in fairness, I would like to have a tank regiment march up this way, because, well, drive up this way, I should say. It would allow us to actually get into these bases in the rear quite quickly. But I may just have the tanks move this way. I've got the TIE forces here. I don't need to be in this area much quicker than I can be already. But I do need to be in this area much quicker. Okay. So they're going to begin to march that way. That's fine. So I do have the AKEs here. They will be in port tomorrow. We can rearm the heavy cruisers and actually we'll be able to attack. But in fairness, I may just wait until we actually do have them in place. In fairness, I don't need to wait too long. So we do have a 6 RTA over here. So that was the unit that was previously disorganized. It's now in a state where it can actually be recovered to some extent, which is good news. I can't put into rest of training right now because the units are actually in this hex. So I can have it move out into Rangoon. We'll be able to make use of it then. But in fairness, there's not much you can do here. We do have a pretty damn strong division in the form of the 5th Division. He hasn't attacked as of yet. I mean, there's 1,021... Yeah, oh, there we go. Yes, we can see... Wow, they actually got here really bloody quick. Jesus, did I only start loading them up tomorrow? Sorry, yesterday? Or was it the day before? But they got here quick. Really quick. That's really awesome. Wow. And there's only one element of them left aboard here. Wow, that was bloody quick. Yeah, just one howitzer. I know it's close by, but bloody hell, that was a quick movement. Jesus. Wow. I'm pretty impressed. Well, that's great news then, so we do not need to worry about Pagoo one bit then. I will be able to have divisions begin marching up this way. And this is it. Take a look at this now. We have 4 divisions in Burma at this moment in time. We have the 33rd, we have the 18th divisions, we have the 5th division, we have the Imperial Guard division. I could have a 5th division in Burma if I so wish to do so very quickly, but I don't think we need it. which is nice to say. Alright, so I do have my forces moving here. Yeah, so they're moving out this way. The good news is it's not too long before we actually have a unit here, and I can actually have it march potentially towards Magway. But I'd rather get some actual aviation support into Magway for that. I imagine what he's doing over here at this base is actually using them as... he's probably using them as bait, really. Probably using them as bait. Yeah, I mean, the H-81s are definitely still a problem. And then an evolving problem in that, too. But oh well. We're making good progress, so we'll be up over here tomorrow then, likely. We'll just carry on marching. If I can get the ability to march in here and take this base, I'm going to bloody well do so. If we can then take that, I'll move in and take that, and then move in and probably take Mandalay instead, actually. March up and take every single base that we can, really. Try and drive him out of the area. Try and just destroy his position there. Well, things are going well. We do have the aviation corps moving towards Rangoon, which is good. So I can actually get set aviation in there shortly enough. I will wait then until tomorrow. We will be able to rearm the heavy cruisers likely during the night. I'd like to think, but I'd have to make sure that they were automatically rearmed. I'm not too sure about that. I could have them rearmed in Rangoon with the AKs in there. And it might be worthwhile doing it in Rangoon because we do have a size 4 port. Maybe, I mean, it's a very short turnaround either way, isn't it? I think we're going to go into Rangoon instead, actually. I mean, it's sort of a protected port, isn't it? So, we'll have them move into Rangoon. Then what I can do is actually have the heavy cruisers moved into Rangoon. I can have a rearmament. I could use the actual ships that are in Pagoo right now, just bombard. He did take some damage, and amazingly enough, I do not understand why that is going on there. So I do have actual reconnaissance set up for Pagoo, and we do have all those spotter planes overhead today as well. So I'm impressed that we're not getting high levels of detection on him there. Yeah, a couple of AFEs. That's so very interesting. Maybe we should have actually landed the paratroopers on the first day, really, that we saw that. But then this is it. It's hard to really know what to make of it. But once we get the actual cruisers rearmed, we may go ahead and actually visit this area. I have the ability to actually cover them with the zeros. We have the ability to project power out here, so I think we would be fine. And the beauty is we actually have the G4s that can actually project power out this way. They could project it to 17 if they so wish to do so. It might be that we base some zeros out here to potentially allow them to to project said power out there. Hey, do that scurvy? Yeah, we're playing as the Japanese. Yes, we are. And we're playing as the Japanese Empire. Okay. Right, so we should arrive at SunYan tomorrow. You can see supply is building up over here at SunYan. They do have enough supply in the units here, which is good news. They're from the 25th Division. Welcome, by the way, there, Scurvy Goblin. Is it the first time having you in the stream? If so, that's pretty awesome. 34 out of... it might take them another day after today, then maybe 2 days total then. But he doesn't look to be moving, so that's fine. We'll just shock attack that with a hell of an amount of force. I do have a brigade march in here, which is good. Gives us something else to make use of. We do have a 5th Armoured Car Company, which will be here tomorrow, and then, yeah, we'll make good progress. I do have my units marching out here. The brigades marching out to meet the enemy, and importantly, block him. Let's see, what do I need here then? So 60... Ah, I see. So you're moving to 9039, which is here. They've got a good deal of progress, I suppose you could say. What I could do then is actually have the other brigade march north. And I think it might be worthwhile doing so, actually. That's good to know, my man. That's good to know. Right, so we did have that supply dropped off here today. Tiansen. They're still complaining about supply, but I will get a unit out there to properly manage it. We should have... Oh yes, we're just on the money here. Actually, that's good to know. I don't actually need them here. Oh, that's good then. So they can actually turn back and head back here to Hangzhou, which is good. I'm really happy about that. That's actually really nice because we can keep the 22nd as a whole division, which is nice. It means I can have it railed out whenever I like pretty quickly. We are marching over here. So he's actually here now. He made pretty good progress there. And in fairness, he's on a major road, isn't he? So he's heading to the north then. Okay. What I will do then is have a unit moved to respond to that. We do have garrisons out here. We do have another brigade there. It does make it awkward. He's in a annoying position, but I do have a unit on the rail line. What I'll simply do then is continue it north then. Yes, and you can see it arrived here actually ahead of him. That's good news. Let's see. Right, if I take a look. Yes. What I'm going to do then is have them moved out to Kaifeng. The good news is I'm on the rail line, so I can have them move immediately north, which is nice. We'll get them off the rail line and then we'll be in a position to respond there. Oh dear. Yeah, we have enough force there. I do have these divisions marching. This brigade is marching back to SunYan. It should arrive back at SunYan tomorrow. I can then potentially have that moved out this way. We should be okay. I don't think we're in a position where we can be broken in any sense. Right, so I do have the 13th Division in position here. I do have... yeah, I actually decided to go ahead and move these engineer regiments across here as well. So 15th Division's marching there, so it'll arrive in this hex tomorrow. I might go ahead and just occupy each one of these hexes to make sure we have control of said hexes. But what I'm going to do is continue to try and build up the fortifications here. So 112 engineers, 10 vehicles. I think it's worthwhile trying to build up, fortify this area, because that is a weakness here. So we do need to make sure that we are covering it as much as possible. So he's not moving south as far as I can tell. I do have a naval guard here, which is good. Okay. So if he's expecting an easy battle, he's going to be quite mistaken there. Thanks, this kit. Oh, don't worry, I don't really read the manual all that much, as you guys can tell. Right, we're heading back then to pick up more fuel. Yeah, we are building up the amount of fuel we have on Formosa. We'll have it moved out in the near future then. So we're looking pretty good. Yeah, 5th Fleet's in position here. Let's take a look at our forces over here then. Yeah, so I think that was worthwhile. They did have a second day's rest, and they've recovered a good deal. I reckon a third day and they would have recovered completely. I'd love to give them a third day, but I don't think it's worthwhile. I may go ahead and actually leave behind the 21st Division, perhaps. But they still have those engineers, and those engineers are still goddamn worthwhile. They still have 200 assault value, which is still worth it. They still have the actual other engineers, they still have the tanks, they still have the artillery. It's worthwhile to have it all moved there, so I will have it moved. I can have the 21st rebuild elsewhere at another time. Yeah, I mean, this is it. When I played my first play by email, was definitely for a rude awakening. But it's definitely great to play against a human opponent. You definitely get a different sense of the game. Okay. I have them march here to Butai. So everybody to that ops mode and I have them follow. Obviously I'm going to have the engineers put back into position. But everything else can follow for the most part. That's fine. So what I'll do here then... yeah, okay. I'm not going to send any additional engineers. Actually, I don't want to risk it. I could issue orders to everybody, but I want to make sure I get this right, so I don't want to have to set it up again. I'm not going to send any additional engineers, because we do not need them, and the artillery and the divisions will be enough. I do actually have a tank regiment sent in today. I was going to have it sent down south to Lucina, I think it is, but I decided against it actually. The reason being, well, he's not kicking up a fuss right now. I might as well just stick with what's working and go ahead and hit Butai super hard. The sooner we can clean up Butai, the sooner we're done with it, the sooner I can march back to Clark, the sooner we can get on with greater and better things, really. But we do have a pretty quick cleanup of Luzon. A division in the south would have obviously been cleaner as well, but I don't know. I really do advocate a strong Luzon strategy, then it has worked out quite nicely. Yeah, you get the most realistic experience is probably a good way to put it. Yeah, but in other games it works, indeed. Yes, there we go. So we have the tanks here. They had recovered all but one tank, which was nice. So they're going to continue to march on to Bataan then alongside them. I do have the 14th Army here as well. They're planning for Bataan. So everybody's been able to gain a little bit of preparation for Bataan. These guys have okay preparation for Bataan, to be honest. We do have the 38th Division in great shape, really. I mean, the 48th is not in bad shape. The 2nd Division is not in bad shape. They just need to recover those disabled. The 21st Division... I mean, this is it. I do somewhat toy with the idea of having them remain behind to recover said strength. But, I mean, it's definitely overwhelming. But I think it's worthwhile still having them move to Bataan. I can have them remain in Luzon to recover then afterwards. But at least then they're actually going to contribute to the fight that matters right now. And the fight that needs to be won as quickly and... just as brutally as possible. We just need to go ahead and hit that thing with a sledgehammer. I do not know what sort of fortifications he has. I know he doesn't have that much in the way of men, but we just need to hit it with a goddamn hammer. So Manila Garrison is a little bit short, but the good news is the 65th Brigade will continue to recover. So it will continue to increase its actual assault value little by little. And I remember when that was like 70 odd or something. It's now up to 86, which is good. So they are recovering quickly enough. So that's nice. It's very handy, obviously, for us. Okay. That's good. That's good. Closing in on Sabang. Yeah, so we should arrive at Sabang then likely tomorrow. We are on a major road here. Should arrive tomorrow. These fellows have been recovering. He's given me the time to recover, so I might as well take use of that. Might as well make use of it. And we do have a major road, which is nice. What I would like to do is take every base of Sumatra then, probably before I do engage these guys. We are on the major road, so it takes 2 days back to Medan. But I'd like to make sure we can take each of these actual bases and make sure he surrenders. I mean, that would be great news if he were to surrender. So, over here in Java, we do see he has a 14 auxiliaries, so I think it's pretty damn safe to say he has them in here. I think we are going to have to go ahead and attack, really. We do have a fair amount of fatigue, which is a bit of a problem there. I do have these regiments here. They won't arrive tomorrow, but he was in a bad position to begin with. So I think we are going to order another attack. It's not great, I will admit. But the fact is we see all those auxiliaries in there. He's moved them in here. He's definitely trying to move units out. We need to try and force him to reconsider that. I could try to get a bombardment in here. I do have 2 heavy cruisers, but I only have 1 heavy cruiser that can actually be made use of right now. But I think it's worthwhile attacking. I will have 2 regiments to follow up behind him, so I think we just need to make sure we can break through. We do have preparation here, then. That unit has 21, which is good. We have 16th Army there, which is preparing. A command HQ would have been great out here, but I do not have certain luxury. I do not know what the hell's the problem with these guys. I don't know, they're just... Let's try and tell them to unload then. Just unload here then. I don't know. I need them to unload, but they're just simply not moving. Which seems to be a bug in the game there. Which is kind of weird. See detection out here. So it looks like he's running detection likely from Darwin. Now then, we do see the one sub out here. It looks like he has moved the other subs out of the way. The weather around here then is pretty poor, but to be honest, we are detecting a sub out here. Ah, partially cloudy. Okay. Now, Kido Butai is undetected, which is great news. Well, that's good to work with. I'm going to have them disbanded for the time being. These destroyers as well. We could do with some repair on them, but we're going to organize, we're going to figure out what our move's going to be. I'm going to tell them not to unload there, but I'm going to tell them to actually disband. There we go. We do have the DMSs here, so Singapore, sorry, no, truck was clearly reminded, unlike Singapore. Yeah, so he's not aware of that, which is good. We do have heavy cloud over. He's getting detection. I really do wonder where he's getting that detection from. Because that is multiple days of detection. Oh, right, he must be running that from Port Moresby then. So we do see all the auxiliaries here. And we know he's looking for Kido Butai. He did say as much. Yeah, that looks like where his carriers may very well be. One of these is such a good game, though. Come on, you can say it. You can say it. They're so low on fuel. They can at least make it back to Talagi, but that's a problem. Okay, I managed to get supply into here, which is nice. Okay. So we do see ships over here still. I've seen the 9 bombers still, the auxiliaries over here. We've seen him, he's probably doing something here. As to whether he's going to build up the airfield, I'm not too sure. But he does have his assets out here. And I imagine he's running round-the-clock naval search, as we can tell. Well, actually, it looks like he's running directed reconnaissance. So I imagine these ships do not have... Yes, they don't have detection. I mean, that is a little bit worrying. He could move in here in a full-speed movement, perhaps. But I do not think he would go full speed. He looks like he might attempt to come in here once again. So we are seeing quite a few submarines over here, actually. Okay. Oh, they're arriving back here. So they can return to Raphael, refuel. That's another sub, then. Right, we're unloading here, then. I decided to unload the rest of the 76 I did have aboard. Okay. So we have 2,400 supply here. We are working away on the BLeAcHACiD airfield. Or just on BLeAcHACiD in general to repair it. And we do see that we're 39% into the way of war. We do see that we are 13% over here as well towards level 3, which is good news. The excellent thing is we have plenty to work with now. He may very well attempt to come back to Raphael, which is intriguing. So, what we may end up seeing here then. And in fairness, it might be worthwhile to actually have Kido Butai move down this way, perhaps. But I do wonder. We've got to bear in mind then, he is running the actual detection out here at Truck. It seems he doesn't know that Kido Butai has arrived. So we'll have to take that and work with it. The good news is it's going to be far, far harder for him to knock this area out. He cannot bombard Nadzab. He can definitely not bombard War, whatever you want to call it. Raphael, he can, but Raphael is building up, and it's building up, and building up, which is nice. Yeah, we do have all the midget subs here still, we do have our submarines here still, we still have our actual surface forces here still. We do have his zeros here at this moment in time. Yeah, sorry, I do have his G3s, they've been running 50-50 there, so they have actually reduced their fatigue. These guys still have a bit of fatigue there, but we do have zeros that can be moved into said area very, very quickly. You can see that we have zeros over this way. I mean, we do have zeros out here, which is the Armada detachment. Their fatigue's really building up, which I'm not comfortable with. It's a difficult time now because, well, this is it. But I need to try and get that fatigue down there, and that's kind of bad there. I imagine it's increasing so much because we are trying to cover Finnshafen here. But the good news is, well, we can get those ships the hell out of Dodge this turn, so what I can do then is set that to like 1 hex, perhaps. And I will want to get these ships out of here. And we do have them unloaded supply, but in fairness, I could actually unload supply a little bit further up the coast or something of that nature. I could maybe unload it over here, actually, at Sidle. I don't imagine that'd be great. I'm not too sure. It might be that we have that supply moved elsewhere for the time being. It would still transfer down, I'm sure. I'd have to double check that to see how efficient that would be. But I imagine it could still work, so that'd be alright. Kaviang has been built up. We actually do have an airfield out here at Kaviang now, which is nice. And we actually have a decent bit of aviation support there at 32, which is good to work with. So I'm quite happy about that. It's an interesting little... Yeah, it's an interesting time here. He may actually look to come back in for another bombardment. He knows he didn't strike lucky at Leh. So I think he would be looking towards hitting Rabal this time around. He's an aggressive commander here, which is pretty awesome. But, I mean, that is working towards our advantage as well, to a degree. We are learning more about him, which is good. We learn more about what he's actually trying to achieve here. We did see when he saw the 29 zeros, he made Leh, well, that made Leh a target. Once he saw the zeros, he's like, yep, that is my target. He might have always intended to hit Leh, but it is somewhat suspicious. Okay. So things are going well. It's mostly just waiting for our units to actually arrive in position now. It's going to be at least 4 days before we do arrive at Bataan. 4 long days. So we'll look at an attack on the 17th of February then, if everything goes well. Okay, I have my unit in position here now. We'll deliberate attack again. And I'm going to go ahead and try to march a unit down this way. I mean, I do not imagine it's going to happen, but I'm going to give it a try. They've got a hell of a trip there. But they're marching on major roads, so it's not that bad for them, really. Okay. Yeah. They're moving back to port. Okay. So I do have additional aviation units moving over here to Port Blair, which is good news. And we do have the actual naval guard here now. Okay. So it's complaining at Georgetown. What I might go ahead and do then is just have elements of this move up in here. Hey, Donat G, good to have you, my man. Yeah, I can just have one ship move into Georgetown with sufficient AV to actually garrison it. Apparently AV has since decreased here, which is interesting. That is interesting. Okay. But I do want to get that sorted out, so we do not take any victory point losses. Right, so they're unloading. Odd. I'm not too sure there, G. Not too sure. They'll attack at some point, I'd imagine, when they decide to get off their arses. It might have been the weather today. Hard to say. Yeah, it's going to take some time to get to level 4 there. Moving to Homeland. Right, there we go. Yeah, it is somewhat surprising. Right, the APD's moving up there. Okay, so that base is ours, which is good. Oh wow, that's actually surprising. I'm running reconnaissance over Mindanao, and I did honestly imagine he would have moved into the interior. He didn't. I mean, I can imagine that's due to the fact that he can only have about 8,000 supply there. And in fairness, it would be very easy for me to hit the supply because it's only a level 1 airfield. There's not much you could do about that. We could just hit it and eventually destroy the supply there. But that is somewhat surprising. I did expect him to go for that. But that's actually nice. That's actually really nice. Maybe he's actually holding out to Cagayan. He might be holding out over here at the Jungle Rough, which is also times 3 terrain. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at each of these bases. I'm going to go ahead and actually take a look at the times-free terrain first. If he's not in the times-free terrain, then it'll be in times 2. If he's not in times 2, it'll be in times 1, which would be shocking, but we'll figure it out. There's not that many bases here to actually make a stand in. Yes, Horn Island would be nice in the future. I would like to have Horn Island. It would be quite useful. Okay, so they're moving in there. Pearl Harbor. Vladivostok. Pearl Harbor again. 2 reports on Pearl Harbor. That's nice. But I don't actually get to see properly. That's annoying. Last time we had double detection on Pearl Harbor, we could see how many ships and aircraft were there. It's an interesting little development nonetheless. Right. So Shiokazi has been returned to service at track. So has the I-121 at Singapore, which is good news. Right. Yeah, so I do need to get in there to prevent the actual VP loss at Georgetown. Can't really allow it to happen. We did have a seaplane cruiser arrive today, which is nice. Okay. Now, that's actually pretty cool. I think technically we have him... well, I don't have him cut off, actually, because I only own this hex. If I could kick this unit out here, then we'd own that hex. But we'll go ahead and we'll attack here today. Yeah. They're in really good shape. I'm just going to make it actually quite... Well, he'll just retreat into here, which is fine. That's fine by me. So I do have the 13th Tank Regiment now. I'm going to have that drive out towards Ankang, if I can. So he's massing AV here. He might have that mass march into Ichang, or Ichang, and then march down here to Hankow, perhaps. So I'd like to set up more of a buffer here. Obviously, I would like to drive these units out. I do have units that are moving around here to try and deal with said units. Easier said than done, though, sometimes. We need more reconnaissance in China, of course. I will have forces move back south soon. What I'm going to do is obviously shock attack over here. Now, it looks like it might take... I don't know, it depends really. They might make it there tomorrow. But I'm not too sure about that. Well, this is it, but the good news is every hex we take is one hex he doesn't have control of, really, which is nice. Especially over here. We got through the hellhole that is all that ×3 terrain, which is excellent. There's not that much of hell over here. If I can get down there, I'm going to be very happy. But we do need more reconnaissance. So we can see that base is actually empty, which is really good. As long as we can put the pressure on, we can drive him out, which is good. I'm just going to try and manage the amount that we have here. The Rocket Docket game. It's good to have you there, Paul. How are you doing there, my friend? Okay. Oh, excuse me. A bit tired there. Okay, they're just unloading supply right now. Well, you can actually... we do have more tanks that will be reduced. Which is vehicles over here. Okay, yeah, that's nice to see then. I can't recall when it finished actually upgrading in terms of size. But yeah, there we go. It has finished its enlargement. I did actually go 10 over what I intended to do. I intended to get about 150, so we have 160. So there we go. We produce 160 vehicles. Which is like It's kind of nebulous. I'm going to have to take a look into that one. But it's like, it's all sorts of vehicles like trucks and I guess tanks as well. It's kind of nebulous in that one. In that way, sorry. Okay. Do we have the oil repairing over here at SunYan? Not yet. So it looks like the base is actually still trying to stockpile supply, which is not too surprising. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right, so we'll attack again here. I just need more reconnaissance in China. I am using more reconnaissance out here at however the hell you want to name this base. Yeah, 4 units here. Well, this is it. It's going to be difficult to try and stop these guys. They can escape. We're just going to try and do our best to make sure they can't escape. But what we'll do then is we'll have his CAs rearmed, and I think we will try to engage him out here. That would be nice. I do need aviation support here. Right. So, I might actually just want to keep him in the hex here, really. Actually, no, I do have a unit actually coming down south. Okay. What I'm going to do, though, is actually have a march in combat mode, just to make sure that we have a unit in here. But actually, no, I'm not going to attack this turn anyway, so what does it matter now? Never mind, never mind. We'll have them march in there. I can have them then, I could even just have them move out via rail, to be honest. Yeah, we need them to march. What I need to do, and I think this is what it's intended to do here, but it's to prevent me from marching into the interior and then probably march back down this way. I'm going to have the tanks actually sent into here. We can make use of them. I do have my RTA over here. And this is what I'm talking about regarding armor. It's like, you take a look at this. The 3rd RTA has... I mean, it was marching around about the same-ish time. But you look at how much further behind they are than the actual armor. Why did he naval invade you? He hasn't. He marched that unit in here. It marched out of Rangoon, across over here, down, and into Bigu. These units marched over here. He has these guys which have landed on the coast, and over at this base over here. Okay. So there's 6 tank regiment here, which is going to be good. They're going to be really very helpful. Yeah, no, it looks a bit confusing sometimes, doesn't it? But either way, we are going to have the encirclement completed next turn. I'm going to have a tank unit there. We'll have our units in here. I'm still going to have a 25th Army in here. Actually, no, it's going to be... But I'm going to have the tanks in here tomorrow anyway, aren't I? So that'll be fine. We have here the British 17th Division, which is a mostly Indian division, and we also have a Gloucestershire battalion in there. It's about 300-ish AV. It would have been great to have actually encircled all these forces over here as well, but unfortunately we couldn't quite get that. Kind of awkward, but hey. I mean, we could have done it in different ways, but I mean, we've learned valuable lessons. And in the future, what we'll do is we'll make sure it's a priority to get to here, then march across here, then march down, but things have gone well. It hasn't gone perfect, but it's gone well enough. I mean, we took Rangoon on the first attack. We took it intact, which is very, very good for us. It means we've gained maximum benefit from Rangoon. I mean, that's 40 light industry, which, yeah, that's nice. The resources is great. We have the refineries here, which is fantastic. We didn't have to waste any supply to repair that. We just gained maximum benefit of that. I mean, that was just essentially a handover of the base there, which is very good. I'm glad to see that we do have the aviation support over here. What I might go ahead and do is actually have the key 44 Tojos transferred out, or maybe have a couple of the actual G3s transferred out. We'll have to figure that one out. I could always have the zeros moved elsewhere, to be honest. I don't need to have 2 zeros here. Yes, we have Magway over here. 300 oil is really nice. I mean, Magway is essentially like another BLeAcHACiD, but a little bit more oil. Only like 1 more oil? Yeah, only like 1 more oil. I think less refineries, however. Yeah, significantly less refineries. But in fairness, Rangoon and Magway is essentially like BLeAcHACiD again. So ideally we could take Magway. If we got Magway intact, I'd be super happy. It seems like if you have overwhelming combat odds on the first attack, then you can actually get results like that. I guess it is random as well, of course. There's an element of randomness to it. But it's going well enough. It's going well enough. Just need to make sure we can keep driving on. And the good news is I do have units over here which are bypassing his defenders. He has his defenders here. We bypass him on this side as well. When I do get the armor to move up when I want it. And I don't know. We have 1st Tank Regiment here. I think the Burma Road is technically cut already, but I'd have to double check that. But we will be taking every base in this area here, so we'll have it soon enough. What we'll probably be doing then is actually marching into China over this way too. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it has to connect to Rangoon or something of that nature. We'll just assume it's cut when we cut everything off. Because in all honesty, he will have supply transferring over anyway, via the normal means. Okay. So we have Sasebo. Sasebo. Yes, we have Sasebo moving south here. Towards Semarang. Okay. Normal is where they transfer over like roads and train hexes. The Burma Road is where he gains 500 supply. Okay, so you can see they are recovering, which is nice. If I go ahead and actually rebuild that unit, 298 AV, so they are recovering quite nice, which is good. It does actually help them to be in said mode like that, so they are going to recover nicely. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of damage there to the airfield, but in fairness, the fact that we only need like a couple hits to keep that base suppressed is really nice. But there we go, we actually own every hex side barring that one there. And I think what I'm going to do then is actually have this unit begin marching this way. We had some weird issues beforehand, but I might as well have had them marching in there. But there we go, we have control of every hex side. Get that hex side and then, yep, he cannot go anywhere. Okay. So still has his units over here, but be able to deal with those. I'll order another attack here. Yeah, we're building up. Building up nicely. It's getting to a good position now. I forgot about these Dinos. Ah, I've forgotten about them. Okay. That's good then. Having more reconnaissance in this area would obviously be a great boon. But the fact that we actually do have Dinas down here is really nice. But not to actually have them at Morsby is superb. Well, Rabal and Tulagi are being built up. They really are being built up. This area will soon be able to look after itself, and it may well have to look after itself again right now. We do have a Butai that can be sallied down south. They can be. If we take a look at our carrier strength, we might have aircraft that we may need per board, but I think we should have everything in position at this moment in time. Obviously, we may have to adjust that. Right, they do have the ops loss, sorry, the ops points over here, so they have been refueled. Okay, it's kind of a pain in the arse. But well. Yeah, we're gonna have them. See, this is a thing I often hear people say, "Oh, I'm being too cautious of the Butai." The thing is, decisive battle is something that we should always seek, but the issue is it's hard to actually make it happen. Like as you say there, G-Killer, the issue is if we're hitting a port and he doesn't have his carriers in that port, it doesn't really matter that much. And while the Butai is hitting said port, he's going to hit something of ours. What we want here is a situation that is developing. We're going to put the pressure on Port Moresby. We're going to keep our ability here in Rabal. I haven't been called, which is kind of annoying. Hang up there. There we go. And back in. And there we are. Yeah. Yeah, so this is it. We are building up a situation here. I will land and take Gazmarta. We have our forces here, so we have Gazmarta, which is good. We have control of almost the entirety of New Britain, bar in that one hex here. He does have units here, but they don't really matter. We can see there's operating subs around here. We see that there's 2 subs here. We see there's a sub out this way as well. He's looking for the Kido Butai, it looks like. The thing is, these submarines have probably been around here for a long time, but we just never seen them because we just didn't have the ASW in position. Now that we do, we are making it very difficult for them to operate, which is very nice. If I take a look at the actual ASW out this way. Yes, you can see they attack this turn, which is why they've gained experience this turn. They are getting constantly better. There we go, you can see that they've gained quite a bit here. So 68, 68. 53 here, which is interesting. But they are gaining the ASW experience, which is good for us. Oh, they're actually training it, that's why. Yeah, there we go. No wonder. I figured, oh wow, they must have had like 2 attacks there. No, it's just their training. That's fine. Okay. Right, the good news is we are damaging the subs that have been rebar, which is nice. Yeah, just a few hits there on Swordfish. I think a Vulcan had asked about the commander of Takikaze, I think it was. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Takikaze... 58, 27, 21, 34, 67. Subs are actually really quite tough. They're actually surprisingly tough. Have we rearmed? Yes, we've rearmed there, which is good news. Change those to ASW. I forgot to put them back. Alright, fair enough. Well, in fairness, we may want to have them actually transferred, so I'll put them on ASW for now, but we'll probably end up having them transferred elsewhere, really. What are the other ones on? 80-20? There we go. 2,000 feet? Yep, okay. So as I was saying regarding the Kido Butai, so we have here a total of 453 aircraft above the Kido Butai. 2,000 feet is good for submarines. Like 6,000 feet is good to try and spot like normal task forces, but submarines being smaller, it's kind of like an agreed thing that 2K is good against submarines. But anyhow, you can see these are the forces that we have aboard the Kido Butai. So you can see that we actually have 184 zeros ready. We do have a total of 201 zeros, as we do have 17 in reserve here, which is very nice. That's a lot of zeros. Kido Butai, I believe on start has about, what? About 100 and something zeros, I think it is. It's 6 times 18. I'm going to do the calculator because I'm not in the mood for mouse and camera. Yeah, which is about 108. Yep, that's correct. So yeah, we have increased that. We're up to 184. Obviously, we do have more available. We can't have them all ready right now. We could probably manage it, but this is still good. It's another good number of zeros there. So we do have more zeros than he can probably estimate that we will have. We have reduced the actual strike package somewhat, but that's fine. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we do need that attack. What I'm going to do then is actually have him planned for this target. Saying that 75 is nice at Semarang. But I don't need it as Samarang. Surabaya, I mean, these are tanks. They're going to manage it anyway. So, yeah. I don't know, actually. The tanks didn't have problems, did they? Yes, it would help their performance, but I think I'm going to keep that. Hey, doing that AKK 70. 70, good to have you, my man. Yeah, definitely Knight. I'm feeling the tiredness right now, so we'll probably have his turn wrapped up soon enough. I think a third would kill me. Okay. Right, we're looking good there. And the good news is, in time, I will be able to bring DMSs over here to Manila, and I should make use of them. I do have 8 DMSs over here in Batavia. Once we do clear out the Bataan defenses, then I can actually, well, clear out the Bataan defenders. I can go and have the DMSs moved into Manila. I do have these DDs that have moved out this way as well. They could do with repairs at some point in the near future. But I'm going to keep them on hand to actually engage these guys as they do attempt to leave. I would have them patrol out here, but they would not last long. I need to establish like an actual base to patrol from to make it any way worthwhile. I do have the 4G G4M1s though, which are running patrols. They have plenty of range, and they're likely to run attacks too. I could potentially have these heavy cruisers move out this way, but I think it's still worthwhile to keep a surface presence around here at Port Blair. The good news is we're not seeing British assets out here right now. We might just have poor reconnaissance, well, poor information coming from the actual naval search, but we're not seeing it as of yet. So we're at 86% here. We may be at level 3 tomorrow, I'm not too sure. It might be at least, I think maybe tomorrow, but maybe 2 days. Yeah, and I still stand by that. I still think it's worthwhile hitting the actual airfield. Well, I mean, this is it. He's good with his subs, but I don't regret my action. I think it's still worthwhile hitting the actual airfield. Okay. Not too far there. I do have these engineers moving south, and yes, they'll be there tomorrow. That's good then. There's plenty of support here. Yeah, there's a lot of bombers here. What do we have? Like there's 192 here. Yeah, it is pretty good. We're going to have the majority of them transferred elsewhere. I'm going to obviously retain some so I can actually go ahead and use them against Mindanao, but the majority will be moving out elsewhere. Okay. Into China will definitely be a good bet. And the good news is regarding China, if we could actually employ like a massive amount of air power, that would really help us out. Being able to hit airfields, well, being able to actually hit these bases where it's actually housing his men would be really good. Hitting the actual airbase supply, but also preventing him from fortifying said base would be very nice. Oh, we actually do have an idea of Changsha right now. So 1 unit in Changsha right now. I don't quite want to believe it, but I mean, if that's 1 unit in Changsha, we know it's at least 160 AV. I may be able to mass my forces, be able to push on here. He's up to something. He's been really, really quiet in China, and it's kind of weird. I mean, I'm not going to give him the opportunity to spring a trap on us if I can, so we've got to be as aggressive as we can. We've got to make sure we can actually protect ourselves here, so we are having to do things that I would rather not do, such as reinforcing the coastline, but it's worthwhile doing that. Got to push the perimeter out here. Okay. Possibly. The good news is we do have this northern road open now. We may arrive here in shock attack here tomorrow. We'll keep on driving into his units there, keep on driving him into the absolute dust. Ideally, those units may surrender quickly enough. The good news is, if he actually does fall back here, I can actually have tanks take this road here, which is excellent. Now, that base, I'm not too sure how many men actually are in said base, but being able to actually move men over here would be excellent, and I think that's actually worthwhile running reconnaissance over said base to be able to take a look at that. I am moving paratroopers into China so we can actually make use of them. So run that reconnaissance there. Yeah, oil, always oil. Need that. How's that outside range? I might as well run it over there then. Yeah, I mean, what we wanted to do here, the original objective was to move upon Lankao. But in fairness, if we can make it here, well, not so much here, but partly. If I can get units moving down here, then I will do. Every hex here is critical, really. If I could get to that position there, that'd be amazing. The thing is, really, we've got to get a critical amount of actual sword value down there. I don't know. I'm still very much... I do want to hold on to as much AV over here in the north to be able to force our way through to Chungking. But I am obviously very keenly aware that we are leaving ourselves weakened elsewhere. Yunnan I'm going to leave as is for the time being. I might take more forces away from that. The issue is it's a river crossing. I could move it around and attack, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just making more of it than it actually is. It might just be worthwhile leaving like a brigade or two here and just having the rest of the forces move out elsewhere. The 26th Division would actually be really quite welcome in southern China. Sorry, in central China. But we'll try and make decisions there. In fairness, actually, I'm going to have the division move out. Have it move back down this way. Get that on the rail lines, get that sent south. That's another 400 odd AV to send that way. Well, this is it, but what I want to do here then is actually capture these bases out here and see it starved. It's a decent bit of AV there. We'll eventually send forces to confront it, but I'm not particularly in the mood for it right now. It's one of those of where it would be worthwhile doing, but he would simply retreat elsewhere. If we could actually prevent him from being able to actually draw, but that's going to be hard. He's obviously going to be able to draw supply lines, but if we can take every base in the area, it does make it far easier to deal with him. Obviously, it'll eventually run out of supply if he's not already low on supply as is. Every base we do take from Chinese is actually quite worthwhile. I mean, over here with the refinery, I mean, you take a look at Xi'an, you see there's like heavy industry there, so that's 20 supply loss a turn, about 60 supply loss a turn there with the light industry. I think a refinery produces like what? Is it 1 supply? So that's sort of a 20 supply there. So he's lost quite a bit of supply generation there. Obviously, Burma is in... It's going to essentially collapse. I don't see a way in which he can actually like save Burma. I just can't see a way that he manages it. I'm not going to attack as of yet. I'm going to allow the Imperial Guard Division to actually unload properly. And then what I'll do is have the Imperial Guard Division 5th Division attack. But I would like to actually bombard here again. I think it would be worthwhile to bombard before we do attack Epigoo. Because I think I'd love to just try and destroy that unit. And if we have it surrounded, then that makes it really easy for us. Have them just march in combat mode. So they're still marching, but obviously we have time. Yeah. Well, in fairness, have them movement, and then I can put them in combat mode for 2 turns, which buys me the time I need. We're not far off, really. Okay. We're still repairing over here at Palembang, so we only need 138,000 more oil here. I don't know if I'd ever repair the refineries, maybe, but I'm not too sure about that. I don't see it happening, really, because we have more than enough refinery capacity in Japan. 101 over here, so we do need more supply out that way. I do need more supply dropped over here at Tarakan, so we're going to need another 19,000. Well, roughly 12,000-ish more, but around about 19,000. I think they are receiving supply from elsewhere in Borneo, which is nice. I do have a unit moving in here. Some ships to actually go ahead and pick up these actual units. Kuching is... Yeah, you can see we have a supply of it at Kuching. I don't really have a use of Kuching. There's nothing here to really make it worthwhile. There's like no industry. It's just simply worthwhile having. because it denies it to the enemy. So we have a few victory points, which is not bad. Yeah. I mean, the good news is, as we drive into Burma, we can secure more victory points and important bases. Actually, I say more victory points, they're really not worth goddamn. That's worth about 40 to him. 8 to us. Actually, so the base of value has already been taken in Burma, which is of course Rangoon. Like, Rangoon's worth quite a lot to the Allies. That oil would be nice. Calcutta would be good for the victory points, but taking taking Calcutta and actually destroying that industry would be nice. We are gearing up to try and destroy China, really. The idea is, I mean, obviously this is very experimental, but the idea will be if we can destroy China, we will turn upon the Soviet Union early. Trying to remove a threat before it becomes a threat. Actually, it will be a threat, but obviously we do not want it to declare war on us in 1945. So if we can actually successfully defeat the Soviet Union, then we do have a thorn in our sides permanently removed there, which is very important. Obviously, we have a lot to do before that, but we'll see. So, R&D. Close it in now, which is good. Not too far before we can actually start making progress towards the A6M8, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, there you go. So you can see that we're more than halfway now with the Nick. I really cannot wait until we have a Nick. The Nick is going to be such a nice aircraft to work with. The Ki-83 is developing nicely enough. We do have a couple outstanding facilities, which is very good for us. I think we have 3 level 4 facilities, which is nice. Quite happy about that. That Ki-84A is rather annoying. Yeah. So the sooner we can clear up Clark. Yeah, well, this is it. What we're going to do each month is, we did have more initially on the G8, sorry, on the Ki-83, not the G83. What we're going to do each month is take a look at the actual facilities here, and then trim off the ones with the least, until it gets to a certain point we'll probably leave it as it is then, really. And they have about a month to get to level 2 at least. Yeah, I mean, that's it. We're trying to get the Ki-83, so that the Ki-83 as early as possible, really. And that's the ultimate aim there. Getting down as early as we can would be really nice. I've got to hope for the best. I'm trying to do what we can here. George hasn't made any progress as of yet, but that's okay. The Frank's not doing bad. No, not doing bad. But I will go ahead and call the turnabout here. I'm actually feeling quite tired at this moment in time. I've got to sneeze. Oh, God. The Ki-49. Let's see. Right, so the Ki-49-2A would historically arrive September 42. We should be making progress towards it. I believe what it has to do is accrue about 100 points before it actually brings it forward. I think it brings it forward by a day when you get 100. I'd have to look into the R&D again. It's rather intriguing, but it's definitely worthwhile doing. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take it from there. So thank you very much for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. Mouse of the Ki-49 shows percent to bring forward 1 month. Ah, right, there we go. Excuse me. Ah, there we go. 8%. Yeah. Because none of these others actually have the full facility, so they're not making any progress right now. Yeah. So the only thing that's technically making progress would be the Key 49 two-way. But also that's good to see. So 100 days until 1 month left. Okay. There we go. Thank you for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful evening.